What's up guys, Learning with Rich here. In this exercise, we're going to create the exterior and interior walls, and then after that we're going to add grids and modify the levels in our building. Okay, so let's do this. So the first part of the exercise is we're going to open a new project using the template file. So actually we are going to create a new project using a template file. So I'm going to select new project, and then from the new project we are going to use here systems default. So why systems template or systems default template? It's because it's the combination of the MEP template, mechanical, electrical, plumbing. So that's a systems template. So let's select this and then select OK. Okay, so this is the several levels that we have here. So it's already preloaded in the template file. So now here on our project browser, I'm going to duplicate MEP. Okay, so I'm going to duplicate this. I'm going to right click that, and then I'm going to select here duplicate. I'm just going to select here duplicate. When you say duplicate, it only duplicates the 3D model. So it will not include any annotation. So if you want to include any annotation, so you can select duplicate with detailing. For this one, I'll just select duplicate, and then we're going to change the name. Okay, so let's change the name here. And okay, so before we change the name, maybe what I'm gonna do here is I'm going to change first the discipline of this. Okay, so right now it's here on the mechanical. Right, so what I'm gonna do here is I'm going to select the discipline here. So instead of mechanical, I want to put that on the architectural. So let's click architectural, and then let's select apply, and then you will see it will disappear, but actually it's just move up here under the architectural. Okay, and then after that, let's rename this. So let's rename this one. Okay, and select rename, and then I'm just gonna make this ground floor. Enter. Okay. All right, and then after that, let's duplicate another floor plan here. So this will gonna be our roof. So right click, duplicate. Okay, let's rename this, and then let's call this roof, and then let's change the discipline. Instead of mechanical, let's change that to architectural, and then apply, and there you go, it's now here. Okay, so now the next thing that we will be doing, we set up our project browser. So let's open up our elevation view. So let's open up our east-MEP, and then as you can see, this is the default elevation view. So what we are gonna do here is we're going to duplicate this. Okay, so let's duplicate just like what we did on our architectural view. So let's duplicate, select duplicate, and then after that, let's change also the discipline of this. Let's change that to that is electrical, so let's change that to architectural. Okay, maybe just for uniformity, I'm gonna undo this. I'm not gonna do that here under electrical. I'm gonna duplicate it under the mechanical. So let's duplicate that, and then let's change the discipline to architectural. Okay, and then let's move up. Then let's change the name here. So the name that we will be doing here is, since this is architectural, I'm just gonna put here East Archi. Enter. Okay, and then let's go back here. We are gonna do that on our north southwest. Remember, we are setting up our project browser. Okay, and south as well. Duplicate. Change to architectural. And the west. Change to architectural. Okay, let's move up. Oh, let's also duplicate the ceiling. So, duplicate it. Duplicate the 0 and then 1. And then let's change this to architectural. So in this exercise, aside from setting up our project browser, we're going to create the building envelope of our building. So that is why we are setting up the architectural views. Okay, so let's change the name of this one. So this is ground floor. Then this one is roof. You can also click the view and then press F2 on your keyboard to quickly rename it. Okay, so click the view and then press F2. So that's another shortcut. Or that's a shortcut. Okay, so archi. Oops. Oh, sorry. Where's that? Okay, so this one, F1. How I wish I can disable the F1. So this is archi. Okay, now the next thing that we are going to do after we set up our architectural views, okay, is that we're going to create our walls. Okay, so we're going to sketch an architectural wall using the wall tool. So I'm going to select the wall tool here. Okay, and then after that, let's use 200 mm. Okay, so for the 200 mm, so as you can see, I only have here generic 200 mm and generic 300 mm. So let's say I want to create a new one. Okay, so to create a new one, you can click here, edit type. Let's click edit type. And then we are going to duplicate our generic 200 mm. So let's click duplicate. And then let's change the name. So this will gonna be 230 mm. Okay. Right? And then after that, of course, make sure you change here the size. So as you can see, the width here is still 200. So let's go to the structure. This is the structure. So let's click edit. And then let's change the thickness to 230. And then let's select here OK. Okay. Right. And then after that, just select here OK again. Okay, so that is that is for our exterior wall. Okay, so now the next thing that we will be doing, let's create our exterior wall. So let's go to our ground floor. Make sure you are on the ground floor, and then we're going to select the wall tool. Make sure here on the type selector 230 is selected. Okay, and then we are just going to change some settings here for our before we create our wall. So here on the options bar, we are going to modify the top constraint or top offset here. Okay, so we're going to do it by height. So we want our floor plan or our wall to be until the roof. As you can see here, the name of our level is still level 0 and level 1, even though we already renamed that to ground floor and roof. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna select modify. Let's go to the elevation view. So I'm gonna open that one, and then we're going to change the name here. So instead of level 0, let's click that, and then let's change that to ground floor. And then this one is roof. Enter. Okay, and then let's go back again to our ground floor. And let's click our wall tool. And then let's check our options bar. Make sure this is height. And here, this time, we're going to select here the roof or up to level 1. But this time, it becomes roof. Okay? So from ground floor to roof. Okay. Now, the next thing that we're going to do, let's go to the draw panel. And then let's select here the rectangle tool. By the way, you can still change here the location line or the justification of your wall. So you can change that to different options here. Okay. And then I'm gonna use here wall center line. That's the default. And then after that, I'm gonna use here the rectangle tool, because we're now going to sketch the exterior wall segment. Okay, so let's do this. So I'm going to use the rectangle here, and then I'm going to create now my wall. So rectangle, pick first point, and then pick second point here. That's it. And then select modify. Don't worry about the distance. We're going to modify that. Okay. Okay, so to change it, so I'm gonna select this wall here. Let's change this one. I'm gonna make it 24,000. Enter. Okay, now to change the vertical line, you need to select the horizontal wall. So you click that, and then you can change that to 12,000. Okay, so this is 24 by 12. 24,000 by 12,000. Okay. Now the next thing that we will be doing, so let's sketch the other exterior wall segments. Okay. So let's do this. So I'm going to use again the wall tool using the 230 mm. Okay. And then hang on, where's my cursor? Okay, so I'm going to click here. So you see there's a temporary dimension. So I'm going to snap at 6,000. Do not click, just hover your pointer to the wall. And then let's click. When you see the temporary dimension becomes 6,000, so you can now click that to start your wall again. Okay, and then move your cursor down. As you can see, there's the temporary dimension again, and then type, let's say 3,900 for that. Okay, and then I'm gonna click the endpoint here. Then we are going to move that horizontally to the right. Okay, so this time I'm gonna type, make sure chain here is checked so that you can create your walls continuously, because a while ago this is unchecked. That's why when I type the distance going down, the wall terminated, because the chain here is unchecked. Now the chain is checked, so I'm gonna move my cursor to the right. I'm gonna type 6,000 and then enter. As you can see, the wall tool is still active. Okay, and then after that, let us now click here to close our wall. There you go, and then select here modify. Okay, now the next thing that we are going to do is we're going to specify our interior wall type. So this is now the exterior, right? If you check that in the 3D view, so this is now how it looks like. Okay, so let's go back again to the ground floor, and let's create now the interior walls, but let us set that up. So I'm going to select the wall again. Okay, and then here we will be using 90 mm. Again, there is no 90 mm here, right? So I'm going to select one generic, and then just like what we have learned earlier, we're going to edit type, duplicate, and change this name. So 90 mm, and then make sure you go to edit to change the width, the thickness. So 90, and then select OK. Then select OK. Okay, again, I'm going to use the center line tool. All right, so let us now sketch our interior wall. Okay, so I'm gonna hover my pointer here and then move it. So let me start. So let's say from here. By the way, you can also type. So when you see the temporary dimension, again, do not pick. Just move your cursor over the wall and then move to the right and then type the distance. So let's say 3048. Enter. You see? Okay. Now let's say for this room, 5182. There you go. And then I'm going to close it. That's our first wall. Okay, so I'm gonna continue here, snapping at the center. Okay, so let's say this one is 3700. Enter. And then I'm going to close it. There you go. Okay, now next one is from here. Move my cursor to the right. Again, do not pick. Just move your cursor to the right. So while the temporary dimension is there, you can type the distance. So let's say 4,570. Enter. Okay. And then you can move down your cursor. You type the distance again. So let's say 3355. Enter. And then you close it. Okay. And then let's snap here. Click and then move your cursor to the right, then you type the distance. So let's say 2743. Enter, and then you close it again. So little by little we are creating, and then escape once so that it will not terminate the wall tool. So little by little we are creating now the interior walls. So let me click here, move the cursor to the right. Think you get the idea. So this one will gonna be 3355. Then click. And then let me click here again. This is 3050. Enter. Click. Click here. Move. 3350. Enter. Click. And then after that, let me just click here and then close it. There you go. Then select modify to terminate. Okay. All right, so let's start now here. So to create another wall, you can click the wall tool here again, or another option, you can click the wall, right click, create similar. It will create a similar type. As you can see, you are creating generic 90 mm. Okay, so let's start here. So I'm gonna hover my pointer. Do not click. Hover, move to the left. Once you see the temporary dimension, type the distance that you want. Then move up. Let's say this is, by the way, if you have English or US metric distance, you can type it as well, but make sure you add the symbol. So like for example, this is 11 feet up. So what you do, you type 11 and then the symbol feet. Okay, make sure you do that. Enter. There you go, and then you can click again. And then escape once so that it will not terminate the tool. Okay? Right. Okay, so let's do this. So I'm going to click here to continue the wall. Then move to the left. Then I'm going to type 11 feet. So 11 and then feet. Enter. The reason why we are entering the symbol of the or the unit measurement of your US metric distances, because our current unit here is set to metric. You notice when we are typing our metric distances, we don't need to put mm. Why? Because the current unit that is set to this project is in mm. If I'm going to show you that, I'll go to manage, and then I'll look for project units. And then from the distance or length, you see the length here, it is set to mm. So if you click that, you can actually change that to whatever units that you want. Okay, you can put that to feet, so that when you type the English unit or US distance, you don't need to type the feet symbol, you just type the number. But let me just cancel this one. I'm just trying to show you that one. Okay, let me cancel that. Okay, so let's create wall, click, right click, create similar. Let's click here. Okay, so let's say this is 10 feet, so 10 feet symbol, enter. Okay, and then you move down, escape once. So click here, let's say 15 feet, so 15 feet symbol, enter. Then you pick to close it. Okay, so let's say here in this washroom area, so I'm gonna hover my pointer here, do not click, hover, move down, and then type the distance. So let's say 4 feet, so 4 feet, enter, and then you click here, then escape once. Okay, and then I'm just going to snap at the midpoint, so that's the midpoint, and then click here. There you go, and then I'll just select here, modify. So basically, this is now the building envelope of our office building. Okay, right, so after that, the next thing that we're going to do now is we're going to modify the levels. Okay, so let's modify the levels. So after we create the walls, so let's modify the levels. So I'm going to open the north architectural elevation, so let's double click that. Okay, so as you can see here, it's already changed. So let me just adjust this. When you see 3D, meaning to say the other levels on our other views on east, southwest will gonna be moved as well if it is in 3D. Okay, so you can modify it like that, and you can click that. If you want to have the bubble here at the end, just click that box, that one, see, click that. Okay, and then there's another option here. You can click the 3D to make that 2D, so that if you move the level here, what will happen is only this particular level will gonna move. The other levels, roof level, will not gonna move. Okay, if it is in 2D. Okay, so you have that one. So let me just click this and align it 2D as well, and then let's align it. Okay, now so let's create our grid lines for the last part of the exercise. Okay, so let's open up our ground floor, then let's create our grid line. So let's go to the architecture, and then there's our grid tool. Okay, so you have several options here in creating your grid. So you have creating line, arc, and then pick lines. For this one, I'm just gonna use the line tool. Okay, so there's the line tool, and we're now going to create our grids. Okay, so let's start. So I'm going to snap here, or maybe the distance, do not click, just move up. So let's say 600, click, and then we are now going to start creating it. Okay, so let's click here, there you go. Okay, so let's click another one. So just align that to the other grids. So that's our grid number 2. Okay, so this is our grid number 3. Put it here. Put it here. Okay. Okay, so how about what I'm gonna do here is I'm going to align this wall to this wall here so that they have just the same grid. Okay, so to do that, let's go to the modify. Let's use the align tool. Okay, and then I'm going to snap here, this side here. So I click. Okay, and then I'm going to click that side there as well. There you go. The modify. Okay, and then maybe this grid here, I'm gonna drag that to snap there. Okay, or I'll just remove this one. Let me create another one to snap to the center line of the wall. There you go. Now it becomes 6, so let me just click that and then change it back to 5. Alright. Okay, so let's continue doing this. Again, I'll just align all these walls here before I create the grids. So let's align. Let's click this side, then this side. Okay, this side. Oops, sorry. Okay, so undo. So align, click this one, and then click here. There you go. Then let's create the grids. Shortcut for grids, by the way, is GR. Okay, let's click. It's number 6. Automatically, it follows the number. Click. There you go. Click. There you go. And then here, so let's say 600 as well. Click. Let's put it here. What else? This one. 600. That's the one. Then align. And 600. Okay, and then move here, or maybe I'll just move all the way here. And then the last one is this one. I think it would be better. This is gonna be my 13, and then this will gonna be 12, and then this will gonna be 11. Okay, that's it. Okay, let me just click this and then just move it here to align to the others. Okay, there you go. So let's rename. So let's say what I want. This will gonna be my numbered grids. So this side here, I want that to be alphabets, letters. So I'll just put that A, B, C, and D. There you go. Okay. I think I would like to add another grids here. So I'll type GR, the shortcut for grids. Okay, now here we need to rename all of this. So this will gonna be F, and then A. This will gonna be E. So basically, I'm just trying to rename it again. F. So this is C. E. D. There you go. All right. So that's how you put the grids. And another thing, let me just click this. Maybe I'll just adjust it like this. Okay, I'm gonna click one of the grids and then I'm going to select your edit type. You see, instead of clicking one by one the endpoint and then clicking the box to show the grid bubble, you can just go to the type properties and then just tick this. Okay, plan view symbols both check, and then select OK, so that one time you'll be able to place all the grid heads. And then next thing is you can click all the grids, click one grid, right click, and then select instances, all instances visible in view, so that we can select all the grids. And then best practice, you pin that. Okay, you pin so that you don't accidentally move your grids. Okay, by the way, you can do it at the other way around. You can create first all your grids, which is also a good practice, and then after you create all your grids, that's the time you can now create your walls. Okay, so this completes our tutorial for creating walls, adding grids, and modifying the levels of our office building. And we also learned here how to modify our project browser. Okay, so hopefully you learned something. Thank you for watching, guys. Have a nice day.